Hey guys, Phil here, hope you're all well. What you're looking at in front of you is one of my fully working modded SEGA Mega Drives. As you can see, it's playing a bit of Streets of Rage. What I want to do today is talk about the cartridge slot and something for the cartridge slot I've designed that makes it look a lot better when you widen the cartridge slot. So you may be asking yourself, why do you widen the cartridge slot? Well, I'll tell you why. If you've got an early VA4, this is an early VA4 PAL Mega Drive, you can tell that because it's got the high definition graphics stereo sound motif on the top of the Mega Drive just here. You can also tell it's an early VA4. If you look at the back of the Mega Drive, it's got the serial port. Later Mega Drives got rid of that serial port. This Mega Drive, because it's a VA4, it doesn't have the TMSS security system in there, which is Sega's way of stopping you playing certain games, especially those type games that weren't licensed by Sega. Sega later introduced something called the TMSS, stands for Trademark Security System, and you can see it when you boot up a Mega Drive. If you boot a later Mega Drive revision, it comes up, this game is licensed or made by Sega. These early VA4 PAL versions of the Mega Drive don't have that in there, so they'll play any game you put in it. Now if you pair one of these with a switchless region mod like this one does have, it will play absolutely anything you put in there. Because it doesn't have that trademark security system in there, it will play anything. Now one problem with that, if you're like me and you like importing games, I import Japanese games, American games. I've got a Japanese game here. This is JuJu Densetsu, which basically means the legend of JuJu. You may know it here in the West as Toki. This is Toki in the West. Now I've got a standard Mega Drive. This is a Mega Drive 2, but the cartridge slot's the same. Now you can see this has not been widened. It's just a standard Mega Drive slot. Now if I try and put a Japanese game in there, it's just not going to fit. Now here's a Mega Drive that said its cartridge slot widened. Now watch this. Fits like a glove, perfect. What I'll do now is I'll explain the problem, what happens when you widen a Mega Drive cartridge slot. Now to widen the Mega Drive cartridge slot, it's not that difficult. It's actually very easy. If you take a look at the cartridge slot that's not been widened, basically all you do is you square off the slot. So you make it a square on each corner, and that's it. You've widened the cartridge slot. Now to do that, all you do is take a craft knife and you take really thin slivers away. Then when you get to round about a square, you just get your file out and file it down until you've got a nice square cartridge slot. The problem when you widen a Mega Drive cartridge slot is the old doors look horrible because you've widened the slot. So the old doors will look really, really bad. Now the way around that is you stick something over them. So that's what you can see here, what I've done here. Basically you take an old CD jewel case, you cut the black spine off, you cut it down to size, and then you just stick it over the top of the old cartridge slot doors, and then you've got a nice looking cartridge slot. And you can see it does look pretty nice from face on, but if you turn it to the side, this is where it starts to trigger me. Now if you look at the slot, you can see it's raised up, and here it's not flush, and that's because you take something and you're sticking something on the top of the old cartridge slots. Now what I've done is I started to get into 3D printing. I've started to learn how to design models and that type of thing, and my friend turned around and said to me, why don't you design new cartridge slot doors? So that's what I've done. I've designed new widened cartridge slot doors for the Mega Drive. They should fit in the Mega Drive, and they should fit in the Mega Drive too. So if you want to widen your cartridge slot, it's very easy to do now, and you don't have to worry about sticking stuff on the old cartridge slot doors. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll fire up my PC and I'll show you that model. I've made two. One's a standard plain version and one's got a little accent that looks a little bit like this. So yeah, like I said, I'll fire up my PC and we'll go check those models out. And what you're looking at are the cartridge slot doors I've designed for a widened cartridge slot on a SEGA Mega Drive. Now there's two flavors of the door. There's the plain version and there's an accent version. The reason I went and designed two separate ones was I like the plain ones, but if you look at the side of the Mega Drive, just where the voltage regulators are on the motherboard, just above there on the case, there's vents, and it's slotted vents. And I thought, you know what, that'd be nice if I made the cartridge slot doors with that accent on there as well. So yeah, you basically got two flavors. Pick which one you want. You can either have the plain doors or the one with the accent. If I turn them over, the first thing you notice is I put my name on there because yeah, I designed them. So yeah, I put my name on there. The second thing I can tell you about them is there is an actual difference between the top and the bottom door. If you look here, there's a notch on the bottom door compared to the top door. So what I did, just to make it easier for when you're installing these, I put a top and bottom logo on there, so you know which one's which. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fire up my slicer and I'm going to import one of these and show you how you slice it and print one off. If you take a look at Cura, I've got Cura open. This is what I use to slice all my STL files. Now the printer I use, you can see I've got a Creality Ender 3 V2. The filament I'm using is eSun Black PLA Plus, and I'll show you what my printer settings are. If I go down, I'll scroll down really slow so you can see those settings. Here we go. That's my printer settings. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open the actual STL file that I created when I exported the design, and you can see it there. That's one of the doors for the actual plain version of the doors. Now if you look, you can see the actual door face is facing down to the print bed. The reason I do it that way is because I have a textured bed, and what that textured bed does is when it's printing, because I have a textured bed, it hides the lines that you generally get when you 3D print something, and so that's why I'm printing with it face down, with the actual bit that you'll see facing down, so I get that texture on it. Now what I'll do is I'll slice the actual model, and you can see it's going to take 1 hour and 25 minutes to print on my Ender 3 V2. If I go to the preview and show you what it looks like, you can see if we go through the layers, I'll bring down the layers. If you take a look, this is a sacrifice. This is called the skirt. This is basically to make sure that your filament is coming through. It's sacrifice, that's all. The actual blue and the darker blue are support, because obviously if you look from the side, you can see the actual hinge part is floating off the bed. It's not flat to the bed. So yeah, you can see there's the first layer. So here's the print that's going to get printed. This is the first layer of the print. If I move up, second layer, third layer, fourth layer, fifth, and so on, we keep going up. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this G code, because it outputs a G code for my printer. I'll copy that to the SD card on my printer, and I'll go and print this thing. As you can see, I printed both versions of the cartridge slot doors. I've done the plain one and the accented versions. What I've done is I've also taken off the support, and that's why they look like this now. This is what the final print will look like once you take off support from them. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how you install one of these into the Mega Drive. Let's get in the Mega Drive and I'll show you how you fit those cartridge slot doors. Now my Mega Drive has a switchless region mod in it, so you can see, here's the, show you that there, I can show you, tilt it to the side, there it is. That's my region indicator LED. Now I was quite smart when I did mine. I put a quick release in there, you can see it there, so I can just unclip it and it allows me to remove the top of the Mega Drive's case. Now to remove the Mega Drive's cartridge slot doors is very easy. They're held in by this little bracket here, and to get it off there's 3 screws. And there we go. If I turn it over, you can see the doors. What we need to do now is remove the old cartridge slot doors, and it's very easy to do, guys. All you do is you hold it in your hand like this, and you take your finger, you come behind, and you just push up behind this here. You push up and pull forward, and then there you go. That's it. It's out. Very, very easy to get rid of the old doors off. Then what I need to do is take the spring. I need the spring. I don't need the old doors. And again, I'll do the same with this one. Just going to take my finger and come from behind, push, and there you go. It came straight out. Very easy. Again, I need the spring for the new doors. Now the first thing I need to do is put the springs on the new doors. I'm just going to come along and untangle the spring because I've tangled it. There you go. And you just take it and you pop it on. There you go. That's one spring. Come along to the other spring. There we go. That's the springs. Fitted to the doors. Time to fit the new doors. It's very easy to do. It's just the reverse of taking them off, but there is an extra step that I'll show you what you need to do. Now if we take the housing, what we need to do is make sure these 2 connection points are at the top, and then obviously there's one down towards the bottom. Now the reason you do it that way is because I'm going to tell you the right hand side will be the top door and the left hand side will be the bottom door. Now if you take a look at the actual doors I've designed, you can see I've written bottom and top on them. The reason for that is there is a slight difference between the 2. So let's fit the doors. Again, I've got the 2 connection points at the top. Remember, right hand side's the top door, left hand side's the bottom door. So I'm going to come in and put the top door in first. It's very easy. What you do is you get the spring like that, you put it on your finger so you can bend it back. You put the door in the first catch there down the bottom, and then all you have to do is pick up the second catch, and there we go. That's it. The door's in. Let go of the spring and the door's in. Perfect. I'm going to come and do the bottom door now. Same again. I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to bend the spring with my finger. Again, I'm going to put it in the bottom. There, it's in the bottom. You can see that. Again, I'm just going to come up, push until we get the clip in, and I've let go of the spring, so I've got to do that again. Just going to take the spring, do that, bend it, make sure it's in the bottom. Clips in the bottom. A little bit fiddly. Come on. There we go, we're in. And I just need to push the top in now, and there we go, we're in. And let go of the spring. A little bit fiddly, but we got there in the end, and that's both the doors installed. I'm going to put this back in the Mega Drive. Now let's fit the doors back into the Mega Drive. Super easy, guys. Just put it in there, screw it back in, 3 screws. Very, very easy. And there we go, easy peasy. And I'm only partially back together because I want to show you the difference between the two cartridge slots doors I've designed. So here's the one with the accent. I did the accent so it matches the vents on the side, and as you can see, it looks really, really nice. Another great thing as well, if I turn it to the side, the slot doors are flush now and I'm not being triggered anymore. Yeah, so what I'll do now is I'll put the plain ones on and show you what those look like. And here's what the plain cartridge slot doors look like. They look really nice also. So, you know, basically pick your poison. Which one do you like? The plain ones, nice and flush, or the accented ones. What I want to do now is show you how these doors look on a Mega Drive 2. So what I've done is I fitted the plain doors, you can see that just there, and as you can see, they also look really good in a Mega Drive 2. And finally, I fitted the accented version of the cartridge slot doors into the Mega Drive 2, and again, they look really, really nice. And as you can see, we're all back together. Got the accented Mega Drive cartridge slot doors in there, looking really, really nice. Now, one final point about the cartridge slot, guys. When you square off the cartridge slot, you'll generally end up with a slot that's 111 millimeters wide. Now, these cartridge slot doors, they're 110 millimeters wide. So if you make your cartridge slot 111 millimeters wide, they'll fit absolutely perfect, like a glove. So yeah, let's get Toki Japanese version into my Mega Drive. Let's power on and we should get some Toki action. And there we go. So yeah, there you go, guys. Hope you liked the video. If you do, please give it a big thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Winner, winner. Toki intro. Yeah, I'll catch you next time, guys.